You sent this article that I thought was fucking ruled, but the ESPN New York Times article.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Rachel Nichols.
Whole story is insane.
The whole story is insane.
Yeah.
So she got hit on like a hot mic.
It was like in the Zoom thing where they were like, I think she was in her hotel room. She had a camera on and there was like a main switchboard at ESPN and they were just literally, she forgot to turn it off and someone was just like watching her phone call, her private phone call. And I mean, so if people don't know, the whole story is she's like an NBA reporter. Okay. She's been doing it for like, 30 years or something. She's 40. I went and looked this because I feel like this context matters like a little bit. So she's 47. She's like one of the preeminent like female in like, male dominated thing. She's like NBA, does like all their stuff. So she was supposed to do the NBA finals last year. And then there's this girl, I think her name is Maria Taylor, who's like also, again, I'll totally say this. Like, I'm sure they're both equally qualified. It's not like some crazy hard job to go to Chris Paul after he scores, wins a game. And he goes like, what were you thinking or whatever? Whatever. Like, it's
but you're right.
But she says she was promised like in her contract to do that. And then ESPN had been criticized a ton about like diversity stuff. So they were like, we're going to have this black female girl who's like 30. Basically, we're like, she's going to do the NBA finals in front of you. She didn't even make a stink about it. She was on a private phone call being like, yeah, like it sounds like they're trying to cover their asses for their weak track record on diversity. So they're picking her which is like, yes, that is what they're doing. Right. Obviously, like it's obviously what they're doing. She said that in a private phone call, someone was recording her and then like leaked this recording. And all of a sudden she's this like crazy villain. And everybody's like, can you believe? And you're like, I mean,
so I'm going to push back against you a little.
Okay.
Here. So basically, I'll just read the thing with exactly what she said. And she said, I wish Maria Taylor all the success in the world. She covers football. She covers basketball. Nichols said, if you want to give her more things because you're feeling pressure about your crappy long-time record on diversity, which, by the way, I know personally from the female side of it, go for it. Just find it somewhere else. I don't want you to find it by taking my things away. And I go, in my opinion, there is truth to what she's saying, but I go, this sums up every single fucking woman in Hollywood.
Yeah.
It's that I'm for all your shit. I'll say all your stuff as long as it doesn't take my thing away.
I mean, I think that's everybody. You think there's no guy?
There is plenty of guys that do it as well, but I'm saying there's also plenty of guys that don't fucking lie. Like, this is the mentality.
But not on ESPN.
This is the mentality of someone that would say, yeah, take it away from a guy. Take it away from that person.
Sure. Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Well, but to me, so I agree with you in the fact that this is obviously real. Mm-hmm. You go, hey, like you're supposed to, it would be gaslighting her, which is what they're doing when she goes, hey, they're trying to take my job away from diversity. And if that,
and they're saying like, no, it's just random. They're being like, no, it's just random.
It either is or isn't what's happening.
Yeah.
And if they said, oh, we're so all about diversity, and then they go, we're gonna take your job. So that either did or didn't happen. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not inherently racist as she said that. It either is true or it isn't.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. And for her to be like, well, they're taking my job away because of diversity. And then for her they're gaslighting her for her to say that. So I'm with you on that. Mm-hmm. But this person who's been championing all the stuff and all she's hoping is that the woman card could fucking add a little juice.
Absolutely.
She'd be the first person to be like, fire this other person who's been there for 40 years. Fuck him. Mm-hmm. So I don't know.
Yeah, she might for some old. The problem is for her thing is it's her and then a bunch of former NBA players. So it's like, it doesn't, like, the only way you get fired is the Paul Pierce thing. I don't know if you saw that.
Tell me the Paul Pierce
So Paul
thing.
Pierce was on this panel show with her and I forget who else. And Paul Pierce, like one weekend, was on Instagram Live with like 400 people in his house. And he was like wasted with all these strippers everywhere.
Yeah.
And,
I
like,
know that.
Remember that?
Yeah.
And he got fired for that. Like, that's how you get fired from that gig as a basketball player, or you leave.
Yeah. And to go back to what you're saying, it is true. This is the big difference between, when you have industries that are real, for example, like it's in sports, the guy who's the best is the guy who's the best. In, let's say hedge fund management, the guy who made the best money, the most money may be the best.
Yeah.
Or a million other things. In basketball, fucking girl commentator, it could be anyone. It could be anybody. Acting, it could be anyone.
Yeah. And her basically thing is she's like, look, I've put in, 25 years. I like, I've done the whole thing. I
fucking did all your bidding. I said all the stuff you wanted
promised
me to say.
this thing, and then I mean, it's happened a million times. Where like, especially for I'm sure women too, where they just the age old like we just replace you with a hotter, younger version. but it's because they're not doing anything that's like that crazy.
So you're pointing out that she's saying this privately as like, everyone says this shit privately, so, and my kind of point is, yeah, exactly. Like that's the fucking problem, is that she's lying publicly.
Well, what else is she going to do? She can't, dude, she publicly came out like she'd literally get fired. She works for Disney.
I'm not saying telling anyone how to live their life. Listen, if you work for the NBA and the NBA says, I need you to say this about gay people, I need you to say this about this group, I need you to say this about this, and you decide, if you choose, you go, I'm going to say all this stuff.
Yeah.
And then, whether...
I know what you're saying. You're saying like, you've been saying all this stuff. Why are you surprised that we're doing it all of a sudden?
Yeah. And also it's like, it's this selfish mentality. It's a lot of the fucking white people at the top of these businesses. They go, yeah, like as long as they're fine, they have no care for fucking if this fucks over some dude, whether that be, about a lie about some shit he said or a tweet or whatever it is.
Yeah.
This person would never have stand up their neck for some other guy and be like, no, they would fucking roll over all day, every day for anyone else.
It's a self-preservation thing. It's like, it's easy. I've said it before. Where
exactly.
Like, we know so many people who have like zero sense of self-preservation in the arts. And you're like, look, like, especially stuff like this where you're like, they're taking it from somewhere. So it's like, if you're not going to fight for yourself, you're going to roll over. Like, they're going to take it from your thing.
But you were literally the guy in fucking war or whatever, where they're like, hey, we're killing 5 people here. And you're like, him.
Yeah, totally.
So I'm just saying that, well, you may be right that she has a point.
Oh,
it's
I'm
also
not like
you're the person that's been telling everyone, trying to,
Yeah, no, my whole thing was more the public reaction from everybody, where everybody was like, can you believe?
Well, that's all getting convoluted.
Yeah.
To me, that's it getting convoluted, and almost them trying to binary politicize this. You know what I mean?
I know. It was like on Twitter when it was trending, and then I started reading it, and everybody's like, oh, this is like, can you believe people like this think that? You're like, it's what happened.
That's the other part. So
it's like, whether you want to like say it's, wrong for her to say that, which it's not. I mean, I guess people are literally trying to like end her life over this.
Yeah.
Like to take away, she's working whatever, ESPN for like 20 years. They're like, we're just going to, something you said in a private phone call.
Yeah. I mean, that part is like, there's like 3 separate parts here. And that's why I'm just saying, this is the mentality that all these people have. And like we said, we've watched it with a bunch of our friends. They all have the mentality of fucking, woke for thee, but not for me.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
They're like, yeah, we need, no, I mean, at the end of the day, it's really their mentality is like, we just need less white guys.
She's using all the language. She even,
she wants to say, she's saying, take it from a white guy.
Yes.
Yeah, 100%.
But I don't even know if she probably gives that much of a shit about that. She just knows that's her card to play.
Yeah, exactly.
So for me, it's like you're playing this game and then whatever, now you're losing at the game. And you're right. She's going privately and then she's saying, I just wish they would take it from somewhere else. You're right.
She was literally
exactly what's happening.
So this phone call was, she was strategizing with LeBron James's.
I saw that.
Yeah, something like a guy who works for LeBron James, like really close to them. Probably not anymore, but
Mendelssohn. She just wants girl status to compete with black status, and she goes. She was at pause for a moment during the conversation, and she planned to wait for. She said she planned to wait for ESPN's next move. Mendelssohn, who is also white, said, "I don't know. I'm exhausted between Me Too, Black Lives Matter. I got nothing else." Nicholson then laughed.
Yeah.
So she's with the guy being like, "I know it's all fucking.
Yeah, it's a lot."
Yeah. So that's kind of what they were getting mad at too. They go, "She don't think any of that stuff," and you go, and then the people were, a lot of them saying like, we're behind closed doors. The fucking all these liberal but it is true. It's what we both probably agreed on is that their job said, "Yo, go out and fucking be an activist if you want to keep your job."
Exactly. And it's like you have to almost be proactive about it, because then if you're not, you'll be seen as like not
right.
doing it's the anti-racism thing.
She knows this is all a game. And then they said Mendelssohn throughout the conversation strategized how she compete, telling her that And then she said having two women competing over the same job was a sign of ESPN's wider shortcomings with female employees. So she's trying to say,
but one of the funnier things is like,
it's a girl job.
No, but it's like, wait, you think guys want to fucking watch NBA and it's just the panel's for chicks?
Yeah, but also
it's like there's one female job. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah, there's one female job, and then so that's on top of this. You go, yeah,
and it's like that job didn't even like there wasn't one forever, and it's like they made one.
They made
it's
a
like,
job
but it's
for
like
them.
it can't be all like I watch like CNBC sometimes. The CNBC sometimes you'll watch for 2 hours straight,
yeah,
and you don't see one guy anymore because they actually have made a lot of where they're like really like it used to be. It was like 100% guys, maybe one woman here and there.
Like, yeah, I know.
But
it's
different, It's like sports is like I don't know.
But just because you're competing with another girl for the job, it's like, what should you only be competing with guys? Then it's just like the dumbest point where you go, oh, hey, there's actually you and another girl up, pitting us against each other, and it's like,
it's a job that we like.
Well, we're not allowed to give it to a guy.
Yeah, it's like a job we literally invented for a woman.
But she's basically saying like, we'll invent a new girl job,
yeah, basically,
or kick one of the guys out. Just not me.
Yeah, like
so that's why I guess I don't have. I don't know if anyone cares if she has my sympathy, but I'm just I just feel like it's such a perfect
I think for her too,
summation of how these people go through life.
But I think for her too, at a point because she's been doing this a long time, probably at a point for her career wise, like being a woman and black was probably like the same footing. And and then she kind of got ahead, and she was like ahead as being a woman, and then she got like passed by black. So now she's like, so she was like, fuck, I was ahead. I got ahead. I broke from the pack and now I'm behind again.
Dude,